به آشیانه گشتم، خانه به خانه گشتم، به تو همیشه با غم شانه به شانه گشتم. عشق یگانه من از تو نشانه من، به تو نمک ندارد شعر و ترانه من. سرزمین من خسته خسته از جفای سرزمین من، به سرور و به صدای سرزمین من، دردمندی به دوای سرزمین.
Afghan young girls, miles away from their families, who were forced to flee their homeland to follow their dreams. Since Taliban took over, a number of Afghan students, majority girls, got a chance to continue their education abroad. The American University of Central Asia in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan hosts a large number of these students. Now a group of female students studying different majors come together to use their power of voice through mediums such as podcasts to share stories, thoughts, dreams, and raise awareness on issues that affect their lives and community.
Hello everyone, welcome to Home Away from Home, or should I say the teaser to Home Away from Home. I'm your host Huda Atoi with my co-host Maha Zafari. We'll be discussing the Afghan refugee life in Bishkek, sharing the ups and downs of the guests we'll be having in future episodes.
My name is Maha Zafari. I am currently a student in the American University of Central Asia studying software engineering. I was interested in making podcasts, but unfortunately I didn't have the knowledge to make and produce podcasts. So therefore we got an email and I participated in Sprint podcasts at AUCA. There were many reasons to start the podcast Home Away from Home. One of the reasons was to share the unheard voices and unheard stories of Afghan students who are currently living in Bishkek to Kyrgyz people or to Kyrgyzstan. And the other reason would be so the student relate to each other and understand each other and to spread a sense of belonging. So yeah, these were pretty much the reasons behind starting the podcast.
Susan is another student who is working with Maha and Huda in this podcast.
My name is Susan. I am currently a junior student majoring in journalism and mass communication at the American University of Central Asia in Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. I was interested in creating a podcast from the beginning. Since I'm also a journalism student, I'm interested in creating multimedia products. So when the Taliban took over Afghanistan, I was also stuck in Afghanistan, and there was a lot of things that I wanted the international audience to know about. So when I came to Kyrgyzstan in the fall 2021, after being stuck for 1.5 months, I decided to tell these stories of Afghan students who were evacuated. I work in communication and production of the podcast along with my colleagues who are the hosts and work on content.
For these girls, podcasting is more than just a hobby. It's a way to express themselves, to connect with others, and to make a difference in their communities.
An interesting event that happened during producing the podcast. I would say when we were pitching at the last day of, doing the podcast, everything got deleted, our recording, our slides. So we took the permission from the professor to redo it again while everyone was presenting. And then we did it in the last moment, but fortunately we got the first position. So yeah, there were many challenges, to be honest. One of them was the budget. We didn't have enough budget to cover all the expenses that was required for making the podcast. we needed to book the room and pay for the room. We needed to have proper equipment to record the podcast. And the other thing was being a student. Also, it's another challenge for producing the podcast. As you know, we have many deadlines and it's hard to balance between making the podcast and also our assignment and the homework that we have in the university. So yeah.
One of the other challenges is finding the audience and promoting our podcast because this podcast is only about Afghans. So it was one of our concerns from the beginning that we might not find as many audience as we want. We might not be able to attract international audience. The audience might be only Afghans, but still we hope that there would be some international audience who are interested in the stories of Afghans, especially some donors who would listen to the podcast and would help in education of Afghan girls who are still stuck in Afghanistan.
We are really optimistic and hopeful for our podcast since it's the first podcast that talks about Afghan stories from their own perspective. So hopefully all international communities and individuals from all over the world would be interested in assisting us in this regard.
As we come to the end of this documentary, we are left with a profound appreciation for the courage and resilience of these young female Afghan students. Despite facing unbelievable obstacles at home, they have bravely pursued their education abroad, determined to make a difference in their communities and their country. Through their stories, we are reminded of the incredible power of education to inspire hope, promote equality, and fuel progress. We hope that their struggles and triumphs will continue to inspire generations of young women to pursue their dreams no matter the challenge. Voiced and heard no longer.